Hey people, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Unoma. So in today's video, we're going to be making this dress with this beautiful lace fabric, this bustier, with this beautiful lace fabric, okay? So before we dive right into the video, please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel for more beautiful tutorials. Okay, thank you so much. Just hit on the subscribe button and join this beautiful family. Okay, please make sure you like this video, okay, to help the video so that people will get and then get to see the video. Thank you so much. So right now, let's dive right into the video. So we're going to be folding our fabric into two like so, and we're going to be folding with the largest circumference of the largest circumference, yeah, our largest circumference. So our largest circumference is our hip. We are cutting the lower part as in the skirt part of this dress. So our hip divided by 4, that is what we'll be using to fold this fabric, then adding 1.5 inch for ease, 1.5 or 2 inches for your sewing allowance, sorry. So that is what I use in folding my fabric. Okay, use whatever measurement you have for your client. The hip divided by 4 and 2 inches for sewing allowance. So I'm just trying to adjust it till I get my desired fold, okay, as in the actual measurement I want to use for my folding. So right now I'm just trying, the half length of my client is 16 inches. Okay, so I have to subtract that 15 inches from the full length of my dress so that I'll know where to start, rule my starting line from. So I'm just placing my tape like so on 16 inches and taking the full length of the dress. Okay, so if you're, let's assuming your gown length is 59 inches, subtract the half length from it, put your tape like so, then rule on your half length. Okay, so that means you subtracted your upper part, which is your shoulder to your half length, from the gown length. So from there you start taking your measurement from. So now I've just ruled out my starting line there. So from that point I'm going to be taking my measurement. I'll be dividing my waist into 4, okay, at that line there. So divide your waist measurement circumference into 4, place it there, okay, whatever you get, place it there, then add 1 inch for that. Okay, there will be that at the waist, add 1 inch for that, and 1.5 inches for your sewing allowance. Then from that point, from that line, measure your hip depth. Your hip depth is from your waist to the fullest part of your hip. Okay, so that's what I just marked there. For me, I think it's about 9 inches. So from that hip depth line, that's where I'm going to be measuring my hip measurement. So I'll be taking my hip divided by 4 there. My hip divided by 4. Okay, that's what I'll be measuring there. Just measure yours, okay? Divided by 4, that's what I have there. Plus 1.5 inch for my sewing allowance. The dart will not get to the dart is not getting to the hip, so I just took my sewing allowance and I connected it to my waist, like so. From that point, I'm going to be measuring what I have on my hip. Then I'll be transferring that. I'll be going to the full length of my dress. From there, I'll be going to the full length of my dress. And I'll be minusing 1 inch from whatever I have on my hip, okay? Just to give it that pencil shape. I minus 1 inch from whatever I have on my hip. Then I'm connecting it back to my hip, okay? Just connect the lines. So I've just done that now. So from there, I'm just making sure the measurement is accurate, okay? So from there, I decided to add 1 inch because I remember my client said she don't want the dress to be on her ankle. She wants it to be a bit below her ankle, so I just measured 1 more inch upward like so. Just connect it together. So now I can cut out. This is the front part of our skirt, okay? It's actually a dress, but this is skirt part of the dress. This is the front. So just cut out like so. So here I'm done cutting this out. So I'll be folding my fabric again into two so I can use the front to cut out the back. But before I do that, I'm just going to be coming in by 1.5 inch for my zipper, okay? So I just want to roll that line to serve as a guide for me when I'm placing my front, so that I can place my front on that line which I'm just rolling now to cut out the back. That line, that part is my zipper at the back. It's my zipper allowance. So I've just rolled the line, so I'll bring in my, so now I can bring in my front part, and I'll be placing it directly on the line, okay? You can see what I did there. Just place it on the line which you rolled. Just align, make sure you align the fabric properly, arrange it properly. So you can see what I'm doing. Just trying to arrange it properly. So there, now I have it arranged well. So right now I'm just going to simply cut it out. So but before I do that, for the back part, I just like coming up a bit by ½ inch, okay, at the back, at the center back. Then I'll be connecting it to the side, okay? The side will be equal to just be a little bit slanted upward like so. So now I can cut out. So I've gone ahead to cut this out off camera. So now I'm just measuring my dart, okay? So the dart is the nipple to nipple measurement, okay? So that's what I'm placing there, divided by 2. So there I have my dart. I'm just going to be raising it up like so and giving it a notch so that I'll know where I can hold my dart, okay? Doing the same thing for the back. So now my dart, I've notched my dart So I'm just going to be making a very slight difference at that back point. So from that the upper part, I'll be measuring where my zip is going to be stopping. Okay, so that's where my zip is going to be stopping. So there's a little bit of, I'll just do a little, oh, don't worry, when I do it you understand what I'm doing. Okay, so from that point where my zipper is stopping, I'm just taking the remaining length of my skirt. Just trying to position the camera properly so you can see what I'm doing. So just take your tape like so, then from that point bring your tape backwards, as in, so your tape, you can share your tape into two like so. So you determine where your slit will be stopping. Okay, you can use this method, or you simply go down and measure where you want your slit to stop. So me, I like using 20 inches. That's just me. I like using 20. You can use 19, you can use 18, but 20 is just always fine with me. I love where it stops. So I decided to use 20 inches for my slits opening at the back. So from that point there, that's where I'm doing a slant line. I'm going to be ruling a slant line to meet where my zipper is going to stop, like so. I always love doing this because it gives the skirt this fitting at the back, so your skirt will not be bulky at that back area and be, you know what I mean, just feeling like just straight there, shapeless. With this, it will eliminate that shapelessness, yes, at the back. So you have a perfect fit at the back. Okay, it gives it a very nice fitting. Just try this, you'll love the outcome. So I'm just cutting that part out. So once I get to the slit area, I'll just stop and cut it out like so. So for the slit, I'll simply slit it open. Okay, so there, my skirt part is ready. So you can see that part slanted. Many people always leave their skirts straight like that, but it doesn't give it a very nice fitting at the back. So once you do this, you'll love the fitting at the back. So now I've gone ahead to fold my fabric again, because right now we're about to cut out the upper part of our dress. So for this upper part, I'm going to be using the fullest part of my bodice, which is my bust right now. So my bust divided by 4, then you add about 5 inches to it. Okay, so I'm just rolling out that line to serve as my starting point, so my measurement will be starting from there. So yeah, take your bust measurement divided by 4, add about 5 inches, because this is a bust here. We want to add as much allowance as we can. So if it is too much, you can reduce it. So from the shoulder, that line is my shoulder line. So my half length is 17 inches, which I just marked now. So I'm adding 2 inches for extra allowance. Okay, I love adding 2 inches because this is a bust here. Most of the time when you finish sewing it, if you don't have enough allowance, you find out it's going to be short. So it's better it's longer. So once you finish sewing your bust, you just trim it, you measure again and just trim off the excess. Okay, so from my shoulder, I'm taking my bust point, as shoulder to bust point. I think for me it's 10 inches. I just rolled it there. Then from there, I'll take my shoulder to my under bust. I think it's about 13 inches. Mine is about 13 inches. So just use yours. So I'm just rolling those lines, making them into a straight line so you can see what I'm doing better. So now from that point, I'm going to be taking my nipple to nipple measurement, okay, divided by 2 plus half an inch. In case your nipple to nipple is 8 inches, you put that is divided by 2 is 4 plus half an inch, which will give you 4.5. Okay, so that's what I just did there. So I'm just rolling it into a straight line all the way to the shoulder line. So yeah. So from there, from my shoulder line, I'll be taking my shoulder measurement divided by 2, okay, and adding half inch to it, like so. So from that point, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. You guys know we always do this, please, very important. Then 3 inches at the neck line, then I'll be connecting it for my shoulder slope, okay. Then I'll be coming up again by half an inch for my shoulder joining. So from that point there, I'll be taking my armhole measurement divided by 2. For me, my armhole measurement divided by 2 here is 8 inches. So that's what I just measured there. So I'll also be taking that shoulder measurement also at that point there, just to have a straight line. So now I'll be dividing my armhole into 2, which is 4 inches, and at that midpoint I'll be coming in by half an inch and connecting it back to the shoulder like so. So here I'll be taking my bust measurement divided by 4. I'll be taking my bust measurement divided by 4. So now I've connected it from that bust part to my armhole like so with a curve. So from that point I'll be taking, so from my under bust, I'm taking 1 inch, 1.5 inch at the outside, okay, and half an inch inward, okay. As in close to the folded area, I took half an inch and 1.5 at the other side. I like doing this. Some people take 1 inch, but I find out it makes it short, as in the dart position. So I prefer doing this. Okay, so I came up half an inch at my bust point line. I came down also half an inch. So I'm just connecting those points together there, as you can see. So with the curve, okay. So I'm going to repeat the same thing at my waist line. I'll just connect it straight from my underbust to my waistline, like so. So I'm done with that. So right now I'm just determining my neck depth, okay? So here I'm using 8 inches for the front neck depth, okay? So I want it to be like a sweetheart shape at the neck. So you can actually use that midpoint of your armhole, just connect it a bit curvy to that part, okay? Or you can come down a bit So I came down by 2 inches from that part and I just curved it slightly to meet the 8 inches there, as you can see. So at that line there, you know, my bust nipple to nipple measurement is still, I still connected it to the shoulder. So I'm going to be taking 1 inch at both points there, just to have that tightening at my chest area. So just connect those points from my bust point to that line there. Okay, so you can see what I did there. So after taking that at my chest area, I'm going to be replacing it, because if you do not replace it, you find out after sewing you will have shortage. Okay, so please always replace. So now I'm measuring, taking my bust measurement again, divided by 4. Then I'll take out the dots which I have there, which is 2 inches. I'll add it to my bust measurement. Then before I go ahead and add my sewing allowance of 2.5 inches, you can use 2 inches as well, it's fine. But for me, I used 2.5 inches. After adding the 2 inches for the dart intake, then I added 2.5 inches for sewing allowance. So our armhole is actually going to have another curve, okay? So that 2 inches dart which I have there, I'm going to be replacing it as well at the armhole area. And I added 1 inch there for sewing allowance. So I'm just going to be connecting it like so, then extending my line to meet it. You can see what I did. So by the time we end up sewing our dart, it will return back to its normal length. So now I'll be going down to the waist area. I'll be taking my waist measurement as well, divided by 4. So that's what I'll be placing at my waist. Okay. Then I'll measure what I have, the dart I have there, which is 2 inches as well. I'm going to be replacing it there and adding my 2.5 sewing allowance. Then I'll connect it to the bust. So you can see what we have there. For this part, I decided to go up a bit again, just to give it that curve there. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. I just decided to go up a bit. So I extended the line and just extend the line basically. So for this part as well, I'm going to be extending it also by half an inch there, so that it will rhyme with the part I'll just check again if I have the same measurement on both sides from my bust point to my chest. So now I have the same measurement, which is fine. So I'm just simply cutting it out. So that's our new armhole. Okay, as you can see me doing here, just cut it out, follow the lines properly. So now I'm about to cut out. You can see how I'm following the lines. In case you're not seeing the line properly, But now that I'm doing this, cutting it, I'll just follow my hand, okay? So just cutting the dot out. Like so. Yeah. So I'm done cutting out for the front, okay? So I'm basically going to use the front to cut out the back. And see what we have when we open it up. The center front and the two sides front. And the two sides. So this is our yoke. This part we're not going to waste it because we're still going to be putting it to use, okay? We just cut out this part basically. We'll be using this part to form our straps, as in those tiny strap we're going to be having along the neckline. So here I'm just coming up by 1 inch. I love doing this to all my dresses at the side, okay? It helps it gives it a nice fit, okay? It doesn't let the waist area to drop at the side and looking funny, okay? So it's very nice when you do this to your dresses. I'm just going to slant it that way, okay? Yeah, basically. So I've folded my fabric again. I've placed my fabric, removing my zipper allowance. You can see the other side I have there is my zipper allowance. So if you guys notice, this is how we cut, okay? This is how we cut out the front. But right now I'm just going to be bringing it closer to each other and making sure those lines are aligning properly, okay? Making sure those lines are aligning properly, are well arranged like so, okay? So while we are doing this, we're just trying to eliminate the bust because there's no bust at the back. So by doing this, I've succeeded in eliminating the bust. So I'll just cut it out. Just arranging, making sure it's well arranged. That's my zipper allowance. So I'm just cutting it out. Basically. This video is actually going to be part 1 and 2, okay? So it's actually a bit long. It's going to be part 1 and 2. So here I'm just doing the cutting. Then the part 2 will be for the stitching, as in the sewing. So I'll just cut this out. Show you guys what we have. So there. I just added 1 inch at the waist area there for my darts. So when I take my dart in at the waist, I won't have any shortage there. So right now I'm measuring the neck depth for my back. So I want my neck depth for my back to be a bit, I want it to be a bit deeper than the front, okay? So I came down, I think 1 or 1.5 inches more than my front neck depth. So I'm just going to be removing it like so. Then from that point which I marked there, You can actually have a straight line or use the same. So you can actually have a straight line if you wish from that point, but I do not want mine to be like that. So I want my front and my back um line at the armhole area to be the same. So I'm just placing back my front now on it and connecting it to meet it there. So I'll be having the same thing at my armhole, but the neck, as in the center part of it, will be a bit deeper. Okay, so now we have our back borders. I'm just going to be slitting this open, then I'll be making a bit of adjustment here. You know, we removed 1 inch at the side, okay, or the side of the front. So that's how we use to cut out the back. So from the center of the back, I'm also going to be removing that 1 inch, and I'll be connecting it to the side, back to the side. Okay, the back is always usually shorter than the front with at least an inch. Okay, so from that zipper area as well, I'm going to be measuring half inches. I'll be taking it away and slanting it back to the top just to eliminate any bulge at the zipper area. This helps to eliminate those annoying bulge you see at the back of your dress. So you can see it's a bit slanted now at the back. So yeah, I just want to know where that is going to be. That's why I'm bringing this back. Okay, so that's where our dots will be. Just chuck it there and notch. Measure it again properly, then I'll notch it. So it should help me know where my dart is going to be at the back. I don't want to cut this back piece separate. You can actually cut it separately, but I just wanted to do it this way. It also comes out nice. So this is the yoke. I'm going to be using this soon. But so now I want to cut out my neck. My neck width and my neck depth. So my front neck depth rather is 3 inches, and my back neck depth is 1 inch. So I'll still be maintaining the same 3 inches depth. So for the front we have 3 inches depth and 3 inches width, and for the back we have 1 inch depth and 3 inches width. So I'm cutting out the back first. So I'll just raise the upper part of the front and cut out the front like so. Yeah, so I'll just keep this aside to when I want to use it. So now I've folded my lining into two. So I'll be minusing 2 inches from my lining because I do not want it to be the same length with my gown. Okay, I'll just minus 2 inches from the full length, then I can cut out. So yeah, I've gone ahead to cut out the lining for my skirt part. So just make sure I notch that area as well for my lining. So I'm cutting out the upper part, the lining for my upper part as well. So I've cut out the back part as well, the lining. So all my lining are ready. Then for my yoke, I told you guys that this yoke we're still going to be using it. So I'll be transferring my SD. I love putting the SD on my main fabric. It gives this structure to your outfit. It's very nice. So I'll be cutting it at on the upper part alone for my actual fabric, not on the lining, please. For the fabric you're using, you can use it on whatever fabric you're using it, be it lace, be it Ankara, anything. Okay, it actually gives it this this structure. Okay, so I'll fold my fabric again to cut out my center front. Sorry, not my fabric, my SD, to cut out for my center front. I also cut out for my back piece. So I've gone ahead to do that. Okay, I've gone ahead to do that. So now I'm about to cut out um my wording. Okay, the wording as in the part that is going to be the chest. Okay, that's what we call wording. So I folded it also into two. Okay, I'm going to be cutting. This is the very easy way to cut out your part or your wording. Okay, just follow the neckline. Just follow your material. Okay, so you can see the underbust there. So you're going to be stopping at the underbust, like so. You're going to be stopping at the underbust. You can just flip your fabric upwards and cut like so. So when you open it up, this is what you'll be having. But I do not like mine to get to the neck area so that when I'm turning it, it will not be too thick at my neckline. So I'm just going to be minusing 1 inch from there, okay? So I'll just place it like so on my fabric. So I have the allowance there for my sewing. So I'll be bringing the sides as well. I'll be placing it on my warden like so. Then I'll just be tracing out my bust area. Then when I get to the under bust, I'll stop. Okay, just trace it like so. Just trace out the shape. Note where you're starting from and where you're stopping. So from that point, just give it a curve to meet it at the under bust area. Basically, very simple, very easy. Just cut it out. So there, you have two pieces for your bust. So this is how you're going to be placing it. Okay, the area where there is a glue side, you place it to the wrong side of your fabric, like so. So right now, I'm going to be taking to my ironing table. I'm going to be ironing my stay to my fabric on my pad, okay? That's what I'm going to be doing. Repeat the same thing to the back. I'll do the same thing for the back. So I have done that. I've ironed it neatly. So this is what we have after ironing. I'll just trim off those excesses before sewing. This is the back piece. This is the back piece. As you can see. So I also went ahead to place the gum stay on my lining. So these are the pieces which we have together. So now I'm about to cut out the ruffles for the sides. So I'm just simply measuring 7 inches on fold, okay? So I'm measuring 7 inches on fold. Just roll, connect those lines together. Then I'll cut it out. So just cut it out. So I've gone ahead to cut out two, okay, one for each side. So on fold I have 7 inches, but when you open it up we have 14 inches. So I have two of that, okay. So that's what I'll be using for my ruffles at the sides of this dress. So for the front, for the neck area, rather for the yoke part, I brought back my yoke. So I'm just basically going to cut out the zipper. You know, the zipper is still part of this one. For the back area, I'll just cut it out. That part is not needed here. So I'll be transferring this fabric onto my pattern paper. Just folding my pattern paper into two. So I'll be transferring this to the paper. While transferring, I'm going to be adding half an inch at the bottom part, okay? Just add half an inch like so. Just straight, just ignore that part that went in a bit, okay? Just go ahead and add half an inch. So that will serve as a sewing allowance when you're joining the the yoke to the main bodice, okay? And I'll cut out the rest the same way. I'll bring my back as well and do the same thing. Add half an inch at that part for joining allowance. So I've gone ahead to do that. Okay, so right now I'm just going to be removing the fabric and I'll be working with the pattern paper. So I'm slitting the back open, okay? The back is 2 piece. So I just slitted it open. So we have this for the back and this for our front, okay? So I'm going ahead to rule the center, okay? I made a line at the center, okay? So I want to determine how my straps are going to be sitting, okay? So I used 2 inch away from each other at the lower part there. I'm just making a dot there, 2 inches space. Then at the neckline, I used 1 inch. So I'm just simply going to connect that 1 inch to meet the 2 inches at the lower part, like so. Guys, if you've watched up to this part and you've not subscribed yet, please do subscribe, okay, and turn on the notification bell, and please give this video a thumbs up. Okay, at that armhole area I made it straight because it's not going to be slanted, it's going to be straight. I repeated the same step to the other half part of the yoke, so one at the top and two at the other end. So I'm just going to connect it as well. Sorry, I made a mistake here, okay? This part is supposed to come straight. You can see I did that part straight at the other side, okay? It's going to be having like a strap, spaghetti strap to the shoulder, so the other ones can now be connected to it. So for that armhole area, I just came up by 3 inches, so that is where that part is going to be connected to, okay? So ignore the other line, that's why I just cancelled it, okay? So came up by 3 inches as well on this side and connected to the last line there. So that's how my strap is going to be. So whatever, feel free to work with any design you feel. You can make another one cross over it just like a basket as well. Feel free, that's how you create your basket as well, okay? So there will also be a line at the shoulder area. But before I do that line, I'll have to join the shoulders together of this paper together so I can be able to also sew on that line. So now I'm about to do, as in, mark the point I'll be ruling for my back as well. So I'm using, I think I use 2 inches first, then 3 inches gap for the rest, then 1 inch from the shoulder, 1 inch again, and another 1 inch. So I'm simply going to connect this. Just going to connect it like so. So at the armhole again, I measure 3 inches. So, and then again, I made the same mistake. Please, guys, pardon me. I made the same mistake here, okay? That part should be connected to the armhole, not that point, okay? This one will be connected to the shoulder strap. Then the armhole line will come to that part, like so. So please ignore the other line. So that one is out. Then we'll have one on the shoulder. So I'll do the same thing to the other side of the back. So I've gone ahead to do that. So right now I'm going to be cutting out my strap. So I've gone ahead to cut out the strap. Okay, so guys, please subscribe to this channel, like my video so that other people will be able to see this video. Okay, please do that for me. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Okay, thank you so much. I love you guys for your constant support. I'll see you guys in the part 2 of this video. Bye.